Big brain understand. Do. Okay, that's done. Okay, so we left off in the middle of chapter 6 on Thursday, I think it was, or was, yeah, maybe Thursday. Chapter 6's theme, what was it again? This squiggly line. It was symmetry. Chapter 6's theme was symmetry. We had a lot of like symmetry on vertical and horizontal symmetry on the blank areas, on the white areas that we didn't touch. And then there was also point symmetry, right? Point symmetry along the center, point symmetry along a symbol, like the star. And then, what was this? This was like rotational symmetry between the light and the dark squares. It was 9 MMR? Okay, cool. Chat, I hope you understand. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for understanding, chat. Do you have any cool hand buff Squirtle I could try? Yeah, but it's like outdated. It's not from. It's from like December. I don't even know if it's valid, but here's a link from my spreadsheet from December. It was a Renfree hand buff deck that Kerpiton played and was very successful. And I think it had Enraged Ifrit in it. Okay. Ravar says, I found a different solution to your last played level 5-9. 5-9. Which one was this again? Oh, this is like how many squares to the right? Like you have to touch X number of squares to the right of each of these symbols, and the number of squares you touch is equal to the number of squares in this symbol. 6-5-9. Oh, okay. You're talking about. I see. Sorry. You found another solution to this. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I think there are multiple solutions to a lot of these levels. We're looking for symmetry between the white and the dark squares, the light and the dark squares. And so like this island or peninsula jutting out here is equal to this. If you rotate the dark square 180 degrees, you get the same shape as this. And you also have to start at the circle, end at the square, and touch both stars. Okay, cool. Is this data structure an algorithm? No, not exactly. It's a puzzle game. I mean, people have said that it's like similar to some programming stuff, but I don't know if I would call it data structure and algorithm. Okay, so the way this game works, like you're trying to figure out and deduce a certain number of rules for each set. They're represented by dots at the bottom of your screen. So we're playing set 6-6 right now, and there's like some levels. There's like 7 levels in this set. And in all the levels in this set follow 2 rules. Rule number 1 and rule number 2. And it'll tell you if you satisfy rule number 1 or rule number 2. Like here, if I and you have to draw a line. You have to draw a line in through the grid, and it will tell you if it satisfies rule number 1 or rule number 2. So here, we don't touch any of the circles, it satisfies rule number 2. That could be it. It seems maybe to be my first guess. Like, you're trying to test positive and negative hypotheses to see which rules are valid and which rule, what the rules might be. So I'm thinking maybe the second rule is don't touch a circle. This is a solution. Does the backward solution work? Yeah. And then the first rule is satisfied by if I cover all of these, if I cover all of the squares, no matter what direction I go, it's satisfied. Okay. The first rule maybe has to do with symmetry of some sort. That works. That also works. Arabeth, that's good. That's not my experience with programming, at least. That was also a valid solution. So it almost seems like maybe it seems like the way we draw the line doesn't really matter so far. It's just about which tiles we're covering, which tiles we're touching, and which tiles we're not touching. Okay, second rule, don't touch the circles. First rule, achieve some sort of symmetry. Why doesn't this work? This looks symmetrical. This also looks symmetrical. This works? Now that's a weird one. Why does this work? This doesn't look that symmetrical. I mean, there's... and that too? Have I... can I do a one where I satisfy the first rule but not the second rule? Oh yeah, like this. I need some sort of like symmetry. Can I ever satisfy... wait, this satisfies the first rule? Okay. Don't touch any circles. So... it's some form of symmetry in the light areas. I don't think the symmetry has anything to do with the dark areas. Since I can draw like this is valid, this is valid, this is valid, and I can also have a valid solution that has, like, this is a valid solution that has two light areas that are separate from each other. This is a valid solution that has one light area and no other light areas. So I think the first rule is some sort of symmetry on the light areas. And the second rule is just don't touch any circles. What if I do this? That also works? I don't understand why this works. How is this light shape... how is this shape symmetrical at all? Maybe it's... I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to do with symmetry. Because I'm still in symmetry mode since the whole chapter... I thought the whole chapter was about symmetry. What the hell? Why does that work? Alright, so... individual light areas with a circle in them work. Could it be at least one light cube near the circle? Well, I mean, yeah, this is valid, and these are valid. So I'm looking at the shapes of the light area. The shape of the light area, a 1x1 is valid. A 1x2 is valid. Is a 1x3 valid? What if I do this? 1x3 is not valid. What if 1x3 this way? No, it's not valid. But this corner piece is valid. If we make a corner piece, that's valid. Wait, why is this not valid? You see? This is the same thing that I drew, but just the mirror. Because it doesn't have any circles in it, it's no longer valid? So 1x1 is not even valid if it has no circles in it. But if I so it does have something the first rule does have something to do with circles. It does have something to do with circles. I do not understand the rule. I do not understand the first rule at all. Maybe the circles are like singularities that are excluded from the symmetry. That could work. That could be the case. But if these are excluded, like how is the rest of this symmetrical? What if I did this? That's also valid? Like at what point is this not satisfied? You know? Like this is still fine. Length of the line seems important. I don't think so. I disagree, Killer Ganon. Because like here's a length of line a line of length 5 and it satisfies both rules. But here's a line of length 5 that doesn't satisfy either rule, and it's drawn in the same shape as the previous one, and the only difference is that it's touching the circles, and it's not, the first one was not touching the circle. Why is this getting erased? Wait, hold on. Did I erase this? Okay. If I go and now change this to that. No? Okay, maybe I erased it. Every white spot needs to be next to a circle. That doesn't agree here, right? Like this white spot is not next to a circle, and this white spot is, but it's not behaving like you would expect. This is not a bonus level? I don't think it affects each other yet? Yeah, maybe. Okay, well, we're on the final level of this set, and I still don't understand how this works. But I do know that, like, if we can cover every single blank area on this... If we can cover, like, every single blank area on this, it should work. I mean, this work? I don't understand. So, like, I knew how to satisfy the rules, but I don't know what the rule actually was. I had a qualitative idea of how to... I had a rough idea of how to satisfy the rules. Like, I knew that, like, a 1x1 with a circle in it, a 1x2 with a circle in it, a 1x3 with 3 circles in it would work. And I kind of guessed that a 2x2 with 2 circles in it probably would work. But, I don't know why. Like, what is actually the description of the rule? This worries me. This worries me that I will maybe get lost in the next section. Do you think you know at least one of the 2 rules? Yeah, Ravar. I think the second rule is don't touch any circles. The second rule is never satisfied when you touch a circle, and then it's always satisfied when you don't touch a circle. 1x3 with 2 circles also works. Okay. Well, let's move on, and hopefully we won't get punished for not fully understanding that last set. Okay. No matter what we do, the second rule is satisfied. The first rule... Okay, I don't know. The first rule has something to do with the symbols, Maybe like if we touch all the symbols, the first rule is satisfied. Don't know what the second rule is. It's not like a starting or ending thing. The rules aren't... You haven't figured out the other rule yourself either? Oh, geez. So it is a tricky one, huh? So, Oh, we found a solution that does... Oh, wait, because we haven't touched all the symbols. This is exact same, except the squares in the bottom row. First rule seems to be like touch all the symbols, and the second rule is always satisfied. So I don't have any information on the second rule yet. Okay, here we go. The second rule is now no longer satisfied. First rule is not touch all the symbols. The first rule doesn't need you to necessarily touch the square, but it's also not just touch all the circles. If the first rule was just touch all the circles, this would be satisfying the first rule, which is not. What? Okay. I'm mega confused. So maybe it has something to do with touching the pair of symbols? How do I satisfy the second rule here? This satisfies the second rule. This does not satisfy the second rule. This satisfies the first rule. Why in the first two levels we had to touch the square, but in the second level we need to not touch the square? When it goes from a 2x3 grid to a 2x4 grid. The what was so genuine? Yeah, I mean this and the last set were actually like way more confusing than anything that we've done so far. I feel like up until this point, like most of the things we had most of the sets, actually all of the sets, we've actually figured out the rule by the time we completed the set. We figured out what all the rules specifically are by the time we finished the set. Last set 6-6 was the first set, I think, that we finished the set and moved on without actually figuring out what the rules specifically were. We told you it would be better to play Sheep Compass. Hey, I mean, we get some variety in here. I like the variety. Okay. So... Interesting. So it wants me to leave one symbol, and it's okay with me. I have to leave this one untouched and then touch these two, but I'm also okay to cross out this blank square if necessary. This satisfies the second rule. This satisfies the second rule. This satisfies the second rule. What? What? So again, it's like I have some examples of what works. An untouched symbol by itself is okay. An empty square by itself as a 1x1 is okay. This is not okay for some reason. Why is this not okay? Because this was okay. This is a 1x2 with one symbol in it. This is a 1x2 with one symbol in it, but it's a different symbol, so that could be the case. That could be why. This doesn't satisfy rule 2. What the hell is rule 2? Rule 2 is satisfied no matter where. If I don't touch any symbols, rule 2 is satisfied. Rule 2 is also satisfied if I touch exactly one circle, but not both circles. Can you mark all 4 circles? Nope. So why is rule 2 satisfied here, but not here? I feel like rule 1 has something to do with the pair of symbols. Both rule 1 and rule 2 have to do with symbols. Rule 1 is satisfied here? Reminds you of 2-8. 2-8. This one had to do with the number of symbols. Like the rule here was like you had to touch, you couldn't have any leftover symbol of one kind. You had to cross out all copies of the same symbol or none at all. And then you needed to in total cross out exactly half the number of symbols. Okay, look at this. This does not satisfy rule number 2, but this does. Even though it's the exact same symbol, but it's in a different position. Squares cannot be next to circles? Is that what it is? Different symbols cannot be adjacent to each other? No? What? There's definitely a positional component, yes. There's definitely a positional component, and there's definitely a symbol component. I think you're thinking too complicated on this one. Yeah, very possible. Why? Alright, look at this. Second rule is satisfied as long as we don't touch this particular tile. If we touch this tile with anything, that's what it is, right? Second rule is always satisfied, no matter like what weird shapes we draw, as long as we don't touch this tile. So what is this tile significant? It's the first square. Second rule is always satisfied, as long as we don't touch this tile. No idea how the game works yet? Hey, Real Tracer, do you know the basic idea of the game? You're trying to deduce the rules of the set and then trying to draw a line that satisfies all the rules. So, I mean, that's the general idea, and then the dots at the bottom of the screen represent the number of rules there are. So how do we figure out what is the significance of... So I'm trying to focus on the second rule right now. The second rule in this level is just don't touch this tile. The second rule of this level is just don't touch this tile. The second rule of this level is just don't touch the left tile. Don't touch this tile. The second rule of this game is just don't touch... of this level is just don't touch this tile. Everything else is valid. Don't touch this tile, and all squares in this first level, or in the second level, are valid. All squares in the second level are fine, and all squares in this level are fine. Does there need to be a reason why we can't touch it? Yeah, because I'm trying to understand what the second rule is. How do I determine which tile is the untouchable one? That is important to finding the solution, to understanding the rules and completing the last level, right? In a 2x3 grid, every tile is valid. No tiles are untouchable. So in this level, there are two untouchable tiles. There's this one and this one. And to get the first rule, we have to touch all other tiles. All other symbols, sorry. All other symbols. Okay. So now I kind of understand what the first rule is now. I kind of understand what both rules are, but I don't understand how to determine what the second rule actually is. The first rule is, all right, the second rule is don't touch a specific symbol. And the first rule is touch all other symbols. In the first level, there is no symbol that can't be touched. So we touch all other symbols is touch all the symbols. Same thing with the second level. The third level, this is the untouchable symbol, and as long as we touch these two circles, we're good. This is the untouchable symbol. This is the untouchable symbol. This is the untouchable symbol. This one is the untouchable symbol, so we just need to touch the other four symbols. Is it that for every 4 tiles in a row, you have to not touch one symbol? No, because they are here, that's like 3 tiles, right? Or you're saying, oh, you're saying like when the row gets to... I don't know. I don't really know. So far, up until level 7, every level only had one untouchable symbol. But on this level, there's 2 untouchable symbols for some reason. Sparksy thinks he gets it. I mean, this is like, can I just brute force this? Apparently not. Okay, what? Because it's a different symbol now. I guess I can't brute force it because it's a different symbol now. Or maybe, oh, so I can't touch either of these. I can't touch left and I can't touch right. So this is the correct answer, but why? Why is this the correct answer? Level 1 and level 2 have no untouchable tiles. That's true, that's true. Maybe something to do with the shapes and how many sides the shape has? I have no idea. What? If you click on the tiles, you hear the sound? No. Oh. Oh, yeah. That's true. That is true. The doom doom sound is the failure sound, and this is like the something. One of the rules is active sound. Is that really what it is? Like you're supposed to use the sound to figure out the last level? I can't. I don't believe that. I feel like it has. Maybe that's the thing that you're supposed to think outside the box, is that you're supposed to realize the sound is different. I feel like there should be some sort of logic in determining which symbol is the untouchable one, other than the sound that it makes when you click on it. Yeah, I would be too, Jalen James. I was thinking that maybe it's to do with the number of sides. Like a circle has one side, or some people say 0 sides, but like the circle has like say 1 or 0 sides, the square has 4 sides, and the triangles have 3 sides. Or maybe it has something to do with which direction the triangle is pointing. I don't know. Could it be something like that? What makes this square untouchable, whereas this square is okay, and this square is okay? I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, let's go next. That's 2 stages in a row now, 2 sets in a row that I haven't really understood the rules. For me, it's just by definition in this set. I might be wrong, but it didn't bother you. Okay, it is bothering me a little bit that I didn't understand the rule for this one, and I also didn't understand the rule for 6-7. Okay. Because I thought this theme, so far, up till 6-5, the theme of this chapter, chapter 6, was symmetry. There's symmetry, all of these were symmetry. So there should still be some element of symmetry in these levels. But it doesn't seem like it anymore. There's nothing symmetrical about this stuff, right? You think it was just for 6-1 to 6-5? It's possible. If I tell you the answer, I think the rest will be too easy. Yeah, don't tell me the answer, please don't. 4 rules now in this set 6-8. Second rule is don't touch any circles. Second rule is don't touch any circles. Don't exactly know what the first and third rules are. First rule might be get all the squares, actually. First rule, touch all the squares. Second rule, don't touch any circles. Third rule... Fourth rule has to do with symmetry, maybe. Fourth rule has to do with symmetry, and third rule, I don't know. Okay. So I assume these answers also work, and it behaves the exact same way, right? Both of these work. What do we do like this? The third rule is not satisfied. Fourth rule has symmetry here, but the third rule is not satisfied. So in this version, we've covered all the squares except the circles, and in this version, we covered all the squares except the circles, but the third rule is not satisfied. Fourth rule is satisfied here. Fourth rule is satisfied here, huh? Third rule is satisfied here, but fourth rule is not satisfied here. Huh? Third rule, yes. Third rule, yes. Third rule, no. This is okay for the third rule. This is okay for the third rule. These are all okay for the third rule. What's the... So here, all the circles... As soon as I cut off one of these... As soon as I cut off one of the circles, it's satisfied. Okay. I think the third rule has to do with the number of blank areas. The third rule wants exactly 2 blank areas. Like here's one and here's one. Where if I make it like this, there's 3 blank areas. 1, 2, and 3. Right? And when I tried to do this, there were 4 blank areas. Even though the fourth rule has to do with symmetry. So this has 2 blank areas. Once I do this, it has 3 blank areas again. So this third rule is exactly 2 blank areas. The fourth rule is something to do with symmetry. So you see here, third rule is active because there's 2 blank areas, but there's not symmetry between the 2 blank areas or something along those lines. This is 2 blank areas with symmetry, but what exactly is the symmetry that we're looking for? What if I do... What if I do this? Does that satisfy any rules? No. What if I do like... What if I do like this? That satisfies third rule and fourth rule. Third rule is 2 separate blank areas, exactly 2, and fourth rule is symmetry. This has point symmetry along the center. What if I did like This also satisfies the third and fourth rule. This has symmetry with this. They're the same piece. What if I did like... Shit. How do I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So marked area is irrelevant for symmetry. Yeah, I think so, ASTF. I think it's just looking at the symmetry of the unmarked area. I think. So it's not even it's not looking at symmetry. It's not looking at symmetry. It's looking at if the unmarked area is the same shape. I believe. The unmarked area just has to be the same shape as each other. The 2 unmarked areas have to be the same shape as each other. There. First rule, touch all the squares. Second rule, don't touch any circles. Third rule, have exactly 2 untouched areas, blank areas or white areas. And fourth rule, those 2 blank areas need to be the same shape. Okay. So there's no squares on this map, so I can go anywhere, right? We finally got rules again. Yeah, I know. What if... There's no way for me to have the same symmetrical area here while having 3 circles in one and 2 circles in the other, right? That's easy, right? Just have them by themselves. I don't have to start at squares or anything. Okay, so now we can test our hypotheses. We can test some stuff. So like... What if I had... How do I draw this? Okay, there we go. This is the same shape as this. What I'm wondering is, like, what if one of these shapes had 3 circles and the other shape had 1 circle? If that would be valid or not. That's too easy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So there's no squares. We need to we can't touch any of the circles, and we need to find two. We need to separate the untouched areas into exactly two spaces that are two untouched areas that are the same size or shape. Same shape and size as each other. How can we do that? Can't draw through the center square. This will test my theory. Yeah. 3 circles maybe means 3 same size spaces. No, because this doesn't mean 4 same size spaces. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But I mean, we can test that theory. No, that doesn't work. This would have worked, right? 3 same size shape spaces with each one circle in it. So how the hell are we gonna get two shapes? Okay, so 2 of these circles have to be grouped together, and 1 has to be by itself. I'm thinking some sort of like L shape almost, like this, and then this. That works, right? That doesn't work? I thought this would have worked. That looks good. 2 different spaces, so I don't understand the rules then. There's something I don't understand about the rules. This to me should satisfy the rules as I understand them. I'm touching all the squares, there are none. I'm not touching any of the circles. I have exactly two separate blank areas, and the blank areas are the same shape and size to each other. They can be rotated into the same shape. Like they can rotate and be exactly the same. Similar with this, right? This is not the same orientation as this, but it can be rotated. This doesn't work, huh? 1x3s? No? What do you mean? What do you mean no 1x3s? No. So, I mean, my only explanation that explains why this solution doesn't work is that there are 2 circles in one of them and then 1 circle in the other, and that makes them, that's like there's something about symmetry rule number 4 that I don't understand. Symmetry rule number 4 has maybe something to do with the circles as well. Why are there no rule circles? Because in the final level of each set, it doesn't show you the individual rules. It only shows you overall as a whole whether you satisfied all the rules or not. It makes the final level a little bit harder and forces you to really understand what the rules are, what the individual rules are before you get to the final level. You have a solution for 6, 8, 9 by just filling the middle. Okay, I see. You're getting this is valid because there's 2 different areas and they're the same shape, and you're not touching any circles and you're touching all the squares, and they're not like, the circles are together, not separate. Very peculiar. That is very strange. What did I end up doing here? I think I went like this, right? Yeah. So nothing to do with the shapes and symmetry. So why does this not work? Excuse me? So it needs to be exactly 180 degrees? It needs to be exactly 180 degree rotation of the other shape? Like this rotated 180 degrees gets you this shape. This rotated 180 degrees gets you this shape. Let me try something. So what if I had like... I can't draw it here. It's impossible to draw here. Yeah, see, this doesn't satisfy rule number 4 because it's not a 180 degree rotation. Even though they're the same shape and they rotate 90 degrees to be the same shape, it needs to be 180 degrees to be the same shape, it seems. Okay, so we didn't actually figure that out until at the very end, huh? Hey, Alex Denton, how are you? I don't understand anything about this understand game, but you're 220 IQ, so you'll be fine. Oh, thanks, Alex. So, the objective of the game is basically to figure out what the rules are. What each rule at the bottom, there's a certain number of dots, and they each represent one rule that govern this set of levels, 6-8. And you're supposed to draw a line through this grid, and it'll tell you, whether which rules have been satisfied and which rules have not been satisfied, and then you're supposed to like use some hypotheses, some tests, some theories to test a bunch of different things and to eliminate and deduce what each rule actually is, and so that you can understand what each individual rule is and satisfy all of them by drawing a line. Yeah, 47% is the overall game process. So, for example, Alex, in this set, 6-8, the first rule is touch all the square symbols with your line, with your selected tiles. The second rule is don't touch any circles. If you don't touch any circles, the second rule is satisfied. If you touch a circle, the second rule is not satisfied. The third rule is have exactly 2 separate regions that are untouched. So like here's one region, here's a second region, and that satisfies the third rule. If you don't, if this you only do that, that's the entire single region that's connected, untouched, that doesn't work. If you have 3 regions untouched, like 1, 2, 3, then it doesn't satisfy the third rule either. It has to be exactly 2 untouched regions. It could be like this, could be any shape for the third rule. And then the fourth rule says that the 2 untouched regions need to be 180 degree rotations of each other. If you take the first side that is untouched and you rotate it 180 degrees, it will match the other untouched region. There you go. Nice little summary introduction to how this game works. 5 rules. Oh, Jesus. All right, 6-9, nice. 5 rules. First rule, start at a circle. Second rule, end at a square. Seems right. First rule, start at a circle. Second rule, end at a square. Easy peasy. Third rule, don't touch a triangle. Alright. Very intuitive, easy rules. These style of rules, starting at a place, starting at a certain symbol, ending at a certain symbol, don't touch a certain symbol, they are very simple, and they were introduced very early on. It's a real 5-head game, yeah, it is. Okay. Start at a circle, end at a square, don't touch triangle. What is the 4th and 5th rule? So these two squares at the bottom here, they satisfy the 4th rule. This square up top satisfies all the 4th and the 5th rule. This satisfies the 4th and the 5th rule. 4th rule is always satisfied? In this level, at least? Oh, wait, no. If I select everything, the 4th rule is not satisfied. So 4th rule... Oh, and if I do this, the 4th rule is not satisfied. So I'm thinking the 4th rule is there needs to be exactly one blank area. Here, there's 2 blank areas. If I select a square, if I select any other combination of tiles, there's like 1 blank area. But if I cover everything, there's 0 blank areas. So that doesn't satisfy the 4th rule. So maybe, that's a theory. It's not 100% proven, but it's a theory right now. That 4th rule is there needs to be exactly 1 blank area. And 5th rule, that blank area needs to have some sort of symmetry. If I select like a... Maybe. We should start writing these down so that we can keep track. Yeah. Okay. Would you say it's easier to figure out the rules when there are more or fewer? I don't think there's a correlation. I think it's just purely dependent on the type of rule. Like, the type of rule that says start at a certain symbol or end at a certain symbol or touch all the symbols or don't touch a certain type of symbol, those are really easy to figure out. But there are more complicated rules. Like, I guess symmetry is like kind of a mid-tier complicated type of rule. I would say like one of the ones that are really tough to figure out was like this one, where you had to like count the total number of symbols on the grid and select exactly half of them. So like it just depends on the style of the rule, not necessarily how many total rules there are. Start at a circle, end at a square, have symmetry in the shape that you leave behind, the untouched shape. Have vertical symmetry, horizontal symmetry? I don't know what type of symmetry we're looking for. For you, the levels with more rules have been easier to figure out so far. Might be coincidence. I think it might be that like the hard rules, when the devs give you a set with really hard to figure out rule, they are maybe trying to keep the number of total rules down lower so that you can focus on the hard rule and not get distracted by the by other rules. I think that's probably kind of the coincidence. That's the thing that's causing this coincidence. It's not because that levels with fewer rules are harder to figure out. It's because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy when the devs try to isolate those hard rules. The bonus levels are really brutal, yeah. That's the only solution. That's the only line we can possibly draw that starts from a circle and ends at a square and doesn't touch any triangles. And it naturally satisfies rule 4 and 5. So I guess it's vertical symmetry, since this is not horizontally symmetrical. Yeah. Right? Because this is symmetrical along a horizontal line, but it's not symmetrical along a vertical line. Whereas if we do this, then it's symmetrical along a vertical line and a horizontal line. It's symmetrical along a vertical line here. These shapes, these blank shapes are symmetrical along a vertical line, but there's now two blank areas instead of just one. So we need to do it so that there's only one. Which means we need to draw a line through the outside, like something like this. But I need this remaining shape to be horizontally symmetrical. So I think it's like this shit. How do I end at the square? There we go. There we go. All right, cool. This is vertically symmetrical along this line. This shape is vertically symmetrical along this line. Okay. Similar idea, right? Isn't this like a very similar idea? Except now I have like this odd number of squares. Like I wanted to do this. There's a different solution as well. Okay, I'll look at it after I finish this set, okay? So I probably need to leave this empty. Can I find a way to leave this square empty so that this is the blank area, like this? This would be still vertically symmetrical. Or I could touch this square. I could go like probably pretty tough. Nope. How would I do that? Oh. So close. Yeah. Yes? No, that doesn't work. That's the wrong kind of symmetry. How do you look at this and see a penis? What, Ramar? Yo. Wait. Oh, easy. We got it. Right? Yeah, let's go. So this one is tricky because it's got this odd tile out. We kept trying to do a normal solution, and we kept getting this odd tile that we couldn't get access to, and we couldn't touch. So we had to figure out a way to like add this odd tile to the symmetry of the untouched area, which it would be either this tile or this tile, right? And it ended up being easier with this tile, I think. I thought you needed horizontal symmetry too. No, only vertical symmetry, I think. Everything that we solved so far only needed vertical symmetry. Like this one was the one that eliminated the need for horizontal symmetry because this level doesn't have this shape doesn't have horizontal symmetry. Almost very similar to this shape. Tetris piece. Okay, 6-10. 3 rules. First rule, don't touch any circles. Second rule, have exactly one blank area? No, I don't know. One or less blank areas? I don't know. Don't touch any symbols, not just circles. First rule, don't touch any symbols. Second rule, this satisfies the second rule here. This satisfies the second rule in this level, but it does not satisfy the second rule in this level. What's up with that? So the second rule has something to do with symbols. The second rule has something to do with symbols. Because this is the exact same shape and division as on these two levels, but it doesn't satisfy the same number of rules. Okay. Second rule could be something to do with, like, you can't have two areas with the same symbol in them. You cannot have two blank areas with the same symbol in them. I think that's right. The second rule isn't about having two different blank areas is not being okay. Is that the blank area, like, you cannot have the same symbol in multiple blank areas. Even this is satisfying the second rule. But once you separate these symbols, it doesn't satisfy the rule. What? And the third rule should have something to do with symmetry, right? It needs to be symmetrical. The blank areas need to be symmetrical around the point, around the center point. Around the center point of the shape. I don't even know how it figures that out. This solution just blew my mind. Yeah, I mean, I had an empty area too with nothing in it. Okay, well let's all right, let's leave that as a valid solution. We can come back and study it. Point symmetry again? Possibly, yeah. Don't touch any symbols. All symbols need to be on their own, like in their own section, and there needs to be some point symmetry. Why doesn't this work? The point symmetry has to take into account the symbols themselves as well? Perhaps? Seems like so. Let me try something. Yeah, see, this is not satisfying the third symbol. This is not satisfying the third rule. Because even though this shape has point symmetry, it's not point symmetrical if you take into account the symbols. Wait, what? It's even possible? Oh. Okay. So there's no rule that different symbols can't share the same blank area. But they just can't be in separate blank areas. The circles can't be in separate blank areas, and the squares can't be separate blank areas, but they can share the same blank area. And it still has point symmetry. This reflects there, this reflects there. Oh god. Okay. Fudge. All right, so like it has to be like. Okay, the reason this doesn't work, so the triangle, since the triangle is the only has one, there's only one triangle. I have to like it has to be separated. It has to be secluded, and it has to be a 1x1 square. Since the symmetry needs to be symmetrical with regards to the symbols as well, there's no other triangle for this triangle to reflect onto, so it has to just reflect onto itself. It could do something like, we could do something like this. Ah, there we go. So it doesn't have to be the 1x1, but it has to be the center. The point has to be in the center. And the reason this didn't work is because if you try to reflect this shape on its point symmetry, this circle will reflect here, and it will not match. It will reflect onto a square. So you have to do this and have the circles reflect onto each other and the squares reflect onto each other. I thought the whole time the symbols are in the corners and define the shapes, but this level proved me otherwise. Oh, so close. So close. What? No, wait. How do I keep messing this up? There we go. There we go. Easy. So there's a five tile piece. The center point is here and here, so they reflect onto each other. And then this becomes a 3 tile piece so that I can actually draw a line here and I can draw a line here. You can do it also with 2x3 pieces and 1x5 piece. Yeah, like, can you? Maybe something like that. Yeah. Yeah, you can do something like this. That works. Okay. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa? Okay, so I'm thinking something like this, right? This secluded shape over here, this would have point symmetry around here, right? And then I just need to have this somehow have point symmetry as well. I would need to have like this shape be like that, but I can't draw that. Can I? I don't think I can draw this shape. Like I would have to come here and also cut this off here. I need this to reflect to here and this to reflect to here. So they're going to be two separate, there's going to be two separate blank areas. If they're the same blank area, it won't work because this will reflect onto here. If they're different blank areas, that means I need to separate the squares and the circles, which means I need to draw a line through here. But I can't separate, like, I can't separate these two circles. I can't separate these two squares. This seems very, very tricky. This seems super tricky. Oh! Wow. Whoa. So it's very, very close to the original solution that I was looking at. But at first I thought, like, if I tried to go for these two kind of shapes, that I wouldn't actually be able to draw a successful line without cutting through one of these. This took you ages to figure out. I got lucky here. That I just happened to start in a good spot to get the path necessary. Because you got to realize you got to draw a path here to separate the square and the circle, and then you got to figure out how to make those two shapes, right? Because, like, I already visualized what the shapes needed to look like of the blank areas for the circles to reflect on the circles and the square to reflect on the square, and the final piece was just figuring out where to start the line and how to draw the line without cutting into those shapes. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, so we got this lonely triangle again that needs to be by itself. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this, but it probably needs to be. It could also be like this. That would be valid. Can I do that? No. Okay. So it's either one by itself or this. Either this shape or this shape for the triangle. For the squares. Oh, this is very... Wait, what? Now I feel like it's impossible again. So, like, what's a shape that could... These four shapes, the squares and the circles, cannot share a point of symmetry. If they share a point of symmetry, it would be like this crosshair right here, and this square would reflect up to this circle. So they have to be two separate blank areas. So the point of symmetry we're looking for the square is here, and the point of symmetry for the circle is here. And the shape that does that is like this. This shape does that. But if I wanted to separate this shape, I would have to draw like that, right? We would have to draw an empty area like this. And then, how do I do a shape for the circles? Now I can't do a shape for the circles, it seems. Unless... Let me try something. I'm wondering if if the entire shape needs to be symmetrical, or if just the symbols need to be symmetrical. I guess it's the entire shape needs to be symmetrical, because, like, if I draw this, right, the center of gravity, I don't know. The center of gravity of this point of this shape might still be kind of here, and it might still reflect on, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's not actually there because there's missing tile here now. Can I, like, extend this shape? Like, how do we do that? This is the smallest, right? This is the smallest shape that I can do. Oh, okay. Okay, chat. Epiphany time. This is the shape that we want for the squares, right? This untouched area is the shape that we want for the squares. And I thought we would have to draw something like this. I thought we would have to draw something like this to separate it from everything else. But we don't have to. And if we do draw something like this, then we can no longer have this tile in the untouched area for the circles, because we need this tile to be in an untouched area for the circles here and be symmetrical for the circles. But we can separate this untouched area with this untouched area without drawing here. We can just start, we can do something like this, right? If we draw something like this, then we've got this untouched area for the squares and this untouched area for the circles, just because these two are not adjacent to each other. They're separate, and they're considered separate untouched like white areas. So we just need the starting point to be here and the ending point to be here for our line. That is easier said than done. That is way easier said than done, though. You would have skipped this level as Big Brain? Thanks. But how do we do that? This is actually super hard. I got multiple problems here. So one problem that I have is, how do we deal with this triangle? Because if I want to draw a path around this triangle, right? Like something like this, maybe? Maybe something like that? When are you joining Mensa? Thanks. Thanks, Alex. So another problem is, like, how do I... Oh? Wait? Oh? Oh? I think we got it. Yes! You gotta just, like... I thought it would be a little bit more problematic with, like, figuring out how to cover all the squares without running into a dead end. Do you have to fill out the remaining white space? Yes, ASDF, we do. Because if we don't fill out the remaining white space, one of these white spaces that have the shapes in them will have some sort of like tumor or some sort of like, you know, empty area connected to it. And then it will no longer be symmetrical, because we need this, we need a small simple shape for, it doesn't have to be small, but we need like the same blank area on the other side. So like if we don't touch this square, if we leave this square blank, we got to leave this square blank as well. So it probably is possible to do it, but for me, it's the simplest idea is just to eliminate every other square and just like touch it with cover it with our line so that it's not blank. Like, can you not touch this square and this square and just leave them? Yeah, I think so. You should be able to, because this solution worked, right? Like, we don't actually have to cover this square. This solution worked. As long as all the blank areas are symmetrical in some way, shape, or form, then it can. Alright. Whoa, God. Brace yourselves. Bonus level. Okay. Fourth rule is don't touch the star. First rule is start at the square. Second rule is end at the circle. And third rule is touch the triangle? Is it really that simple? It can't be that simple. Start at a square. Okay, it's no longer start at a square. um, it's still ending at a circle though. It's still ending at a circle. It's now starting at a triangle. Wait, what? What the hell? What? Now it's start at this triangle, end at this circle, don't touch this other triangle. And touch all the stars. What doesn't that satisfy the fourth rule? What is? Wait, what? Uh-huh? Okay. Bro, what? Are you allowed to start at the left triangle? No, you're not even allowed to touch the left triangle. If you touch the left triangle, it fails the fourth rule. I don't know why this is a fail though. I'm not really sure why this is a fail. Because it doesn't fail the fourth rule when I just mouse over the square. Wait, huh? Okay, what? Sorry, what? Huh? So the third rule fails. Okay, wait. The third rule fails like all the time here. No. Okay, wait, sorry. The third rule is just touch all the triangles in the first one. The third rule in the second one is I thought it was touch all the stars. But apparently not. It's not just touch all the stars. This satisfies the third rule. The fourth rule is don't touch this. I thought maybe it was a adjacent tile thing, because this looked like we needed 3 adjacent tiles to this triangle, but not really. Like this is fine, this is not fine, this is fine, this is not fine. Okay, this is weird. Don't touch the triangle and the empty tile above square. Don't touch... Oh. Yes. You seem to be correct. You seem to be correct. That... wait. Yeah, don't touch these 2 tiles. Don't touch this tile, don't touch this tile. This one is just don't touch this tile. Apparently I'm allowed to touch all the tiles. All the symbols in this level. I can't touch this one, and I can't touch this one. I'm supposed to start at this star and end at this star. How are we supposed to know that? What? What? What's the third rule again? The third rule is that we have to touch, like... we're gonna touch all the symbols? Oh, I can't touch this tile. That's right. Well, if I can't touch this tile, then I have to go like this. Okay. Feels a little bit by like 6, 7? 6, 7. We didn't understand this level. Right? Yeah, we did not understand this level. It feels a little bit like that. Yeah, like we're just like trying out to see which tiles we can or cannot touch. What is with this highlight? Okay. So each tile that we highlight is getting reflected along the middle is getting reflected along a vertical line. It was not doing that here. What if I do something like this? This is still valid even though I messed up the symmetry with it. Okay, so symmetry doesn't seem to be a big part of this level. Holy cow, what? Can't touch this square. How are we supposed to know that we can't touch this square? Ah! We have to start at this square. Or maybe we have to start at the circle. We have to start at the circle with the reflection. And end at the square with the reflection. Okay? And so... we are trying to draw... I thought it... Oh, don't touch the triangle. Don't touch the triangle. So the game is now looking not at the line that we draw, but it's now looking at the reflection of the line that we draw. Don't touch the triangle. Don't touch the triangle with the reflection of the line that we draw. So our actual line shouldn't go through here. What? God damn, what the... Okay. We have to end at this star. End at this star. Start at the bottom star. Start at the bottom star, end at the top star. And don't touch these two squares. Is this a reflection of the... That looks like a reflection of this. That looks like a reflection of this. Doesn't it? Squiggly, squiggly, and then some right angles. Squiggly and then some right angles. It is. It's like it's a mirror. It's a mirror of that level. So if I change this solution, if I change this solution to like this, it's now changed. It has now changed. So what if I do the same solution that I did previously? Okay. What if I had gone this way? What if I had gone this way? That also works? I feel like this looks better. Uh-oh, there's like some hidden Nazi symbolism in here. Monka. This is the reflection of one of the first levels, like this one. This is a reflection of this one. Yep. I can't touch this. Start here. End here. Weird. Why? Huh. So here, I'm starting and ending. Huh? I'm starting and ending on the same side. But here, it wants me to start here and end on the corner, on an opposite corner. Can't touch this tile. Okay. What have I gone through here? I can't touch this tile either. What? Is this just pure luck? I don't understand why this worked for me. But, okay, so now this is a reflection of the first level. So it's interesting, right? There's 7 levels on this level. There's 7 levels in this set. The 4th level reflects onto itself because it's in the center. The center of 7 is 4. The 5th level reflects the 3rd level. The 6th level reflects the 2nd level. So the 1st level should reflect the 7th level should reflect the 1st level. And it's showing us the reflection of the line that we drew in the 1st level. But that's not what we actually need to draw. I need to understand the relationship between level 2 and level 6 to understand what to draw here. Why did this work? Are the symbols reflected? So we have square and circle, 2 stars and 2 triangles. This is square and circle, 2 stars and 2 triangles, but they're in completely different positions. The shape of the oh, you can see the reflection. You can see the reflection of the line that we drew in level 6 now. Start at square, go through all the stars. Oh. The reason why this is untouchable and this is untouchable is because these 2 squares are the positions of the triangles on this level, on the mirror level. We can't touch the triangles, but we cannot, but we need to not touch the triangles, but we need to not touch the triangles of the location of its mirror level. That's the thing. That's it. So here, the triangles are this square and this square, which reflect onto this square and this square, right? And you see we don't touch this square and we don't touch this square. Is that the reason for rules 6, 7x as well? I really doubt it. That would be too big brain for a normal non-bonus level. Look at that. The triangles are in the center column, second and fourth position. These are the two tiles that we couldn't touch. And these triangles are in the center row. And these are the two tiles that we couldn't touch here. Excuse me. Okay. So we need to start from reflection of the circle, end at the reflection of the square, and go through the star and don't touch the triangle. So it's like we want to start bottom right. We want to start bottom right, go up, and avoid the bottom left, and end at the top right. Boom. GG. Thank you, ASTF. Nice. I still don't know what the rules were for 6 and 7. 6-6 and 6-7 though. This doesn't look like any reflection shenanigans to me. Definitely not, right? Like, it's not a reflection bonus mechanic. It's something else. You think 6-7 was vertical reflection? How is this vertical reflection? Explain this level to me. If the symbol is on the opposite, if the symbol isn't on the opposite side, you can't touch it. This has an opposite reflection here. This is an opposite reflection here. Oh, this does not have a reflection here, and this does not have a reflection here. Oh, that's a great, that's correct. That looks good, but I feel like they should have had a harder final level that you couldn't just stumble upon. That it wasn't so easy to just stumble upon. You need to not touch shapes that do not have a reflection on the other side. So these shapes all have a reflection on the other side. They reflect onto each other or themselves. This shape reflects here, so you can't touch this square, but you can touch this square. Horizontal line does not work on the last level, though. Yeah, because this doesn't reflect onto here. This symbol is a left-pointing arrow. This symbol is a right-pointing arrow. They're not the same symbol. They're different symbols, so they don't share. They don't have a vertical reflection with each other. These symbols, this symbol reflects onto itself because the center, the line of symmetry is right here through the center of this middle column. It has to be a carbon copy, not a reflection. Yeah. This also works. So what about 6-6? You didn't want to say while you did the rest. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Like, why does this shape work? That shape looks really odd. You know? How is this a valid thing for symmetry or reflection? You didn't get 6-6? Yeah. I don't get it either. 6-7, that's a good one though, Sparksy. It's somehow grouping the symbols correctly. Uh-huh, but like, this is a valid solution. This is a valid solution. Like, I don't understand. But this is not valid? Touching all blank tiles with shapes opposite. Touch this, touch this, touch this, and touch this. Ooh. That could be correct. That could actually be correct. I think you're right. You're right. You're totally right. You just have to touch this square and this square. You gotta touch this square, this square. You gotta touch these squares. That's valid. You just touch these 3 squares and this square. Oh. I mean, this was kind of like, I just stumbled upon this as well, right? I just like kind of basically tried to draw a line through every square that I possibly could. And it worked, but... Oh. So chapter, yeah, like, because you had to figure out why these sets would be grouped into the same chapter with each other. A chapter is usually has like an overarching theme to it. And the first 5 levels, or the first 5 sets of chapter 6, were all about symmetry. And then it changed up a little bit here, and then these sets were about like... These sets were also, they had some symmetry in it. They didn't really have mirroring, though. Only the bonus level had mirroring. The bonus level had mirroring, and then these had mirroring. But mirroring is another form of symmetry, I guess. But it's definitely not as intuitive as the other sets in this chapter. 50%. Wait, why is it only 49.6? Oh, maybe it's because of these 2 levels. Because I don't know, what are these levels? Because see, these all have other chapters numbers, like chapter 7, chapter 8. This doesn't have a chapter number, it's like negative. A bonus level? Alright, let's take a look. How does this work? That satisfies. This satisfies the first rule. This doesn't satisfy any rules. Seems like the first rule is touch the square. Touch the square. The second rule is don't touch the negative sign. And the third rule is almost always satisfied. Not quite. You're gonna call it? Good night. See you, Ravar. First rule is touch all the squares. Second rule is don't touch the negative sign. So touching one of these is okay. Touching one of these is okay, but for the third rule, but touching both of them is not okay. Touching these two are not okay either. Even just touching these two are not okay. This satisfies neither. Yeah, okay. Huh? Oh. 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 Okay. So this is the shit. Why didn't that work? I got baited. I thought it was like this is the shape. This is like the number of turns or the shape that your line can take. Like your line needs to be a horizontal line. It does kind of make sense. Look, as long as you're drawing a horizontal line in the first two levels, it's valid. Even of length 2 or length 3 or length 1, it's all good. But once you take a turn to the vertical, or you just draw a vertical line, it never satisfies that the third rule. Huh. Why is this satisfying this, but not a longer length? So you're only allowed to have this shape. You're only allowed to have this shape in your drawing, and then you just get to repeat that shape over and over and over again. Hi, Leo. Hello. I'm almost done, okay? I'll come play with you very soon. So now we're allowed to do this shape. This Tetris piece shape. But we're not allowed to touch this, so we gotta do this, and then this. But this isn't exactly a repetition of the same shape that I made. Hey, Leo. So this is the... I'm allowed to make... What? So the shape that I need to make is this shape. Why? Okay, so it's not the line. It's okay, so it's not the shape. This is not governing the shape. This is governing the directions in which you can travel with your drawing tool. So, this means that I can only travel to the right. This means I need to travel to the right and then down. And then the next move, I have to travel to the right and then down again. This means I can travel twice to the right and then down, and then twice to the right and then down. This means I can travel to the right, down, right. And the next move, I gotta go right again. So right, down, right, right, down, right. That works. And this, I need to go down, right, right, down, down, right, right, down. There we go. Nice. Oh, Jesus. Okay, it's a totally different set. That is, I thought it was gonna be only 2 levels. Does it work the other way? Like, going backwards? It seems so? Let me try on a... Did I do this right? I didn't draw this right. Yeah, it works the other way around as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter which order you draw the line in. That's quite the dashing set. Oh, Ebratron. Alright, so like, I'm guessing this is the kind of similar thing. To the right twice, and then to the right twice. To the right twice, and then to the right twice. First rule is don't touch any of these symbols. So I can start in either point. To the right twice, and then down twice. Or up twice. No, we can go down twice first, and then to the right twice. Because we can't touch any of these symbols. But we also don't need to do them in the order that they're presented. We can do them in any order. Right, up, right. Right, right, down. Can I even go right that many times? Huh? Right, right, down. I can't go right that many times. Okay. Right, up, right. Up, left, left. Ah, okay. So it's not about the direction. It's just about the shape of the line here again. Like you can go you can go from the right to the left. You can draw this from the right to the left, or from this from the right to the left. It's just the shape. Yeah, direction is irrelevant. It's just the shape. So I can choose to do this one from the right to the left, and then this one from the left to the right. So we go right, and then up, left, left. Down, down, right, right, up, right, right, down, down. Down, left. No, down, left, up, left, left. You just have to combine all these shapes into something. Rule is just follow the instructions, yeah. So this, I need to make it probably here. We start here, we go left, left, no, left, left, up, or I could do it here too, I guess. There's also some, oh, I need a lot of verticality. There's up, or down, down, yeah. I need a lot of verticality, huh? So we can do, let's see here. Down, down, right, right, up, left, up, right, right, down, down. Nice. So I started here with this shape, and then I added this shape, and then I added this shape, and then I finished with this shape. Second rule is don't touch the symbol, the instruction symbols. First rule is touch all the other symbols. And then I bet now it's like the blank area, the untouched area needs to follow this instruction now. Good night, Silex. I think that could, well, I don't know. How would we even... Why is that valid? I guess it's valid because, like, we don't use any other directions. That's not valid. Okay. I'm confused. Is this still our path? Maybe it just needs to contain the instruction. Yeah, 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. It's able to, the blank area is able to contain this instruction. Sure. The blank area needs to be able to contain... Why doesn't this work? Because it can contain a horizontal, vertical, horizontal piece. But maybe it can't contain both of them at the same time? I'm confused again. Is it... Maybe it's not looking at the blank space, it's looking at our line. It's looking at our line. Our line that we draw needs to contain the instruction somewhere. So here I have... I have this shape here. This shape is here, and this shape is here. Okay. So yeah, this instruction is contained here, and this instruction is contained here. Alrighty. Too easy, right? Too easy. Oh my lord, this is a whole thing. Okay, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna stop here and we'll pick this up tomorrow. I thought it was gonna be a small section because I thought it was like some sort of bonus section. I thought it was, at first I thought it was only gonna be 2 levels that would like zero us out to, or round us out exactly to 50% completion. But apparently it's its own chapter, its own full-fledged chapter, probably with a question mark bonus area. So I gotta go. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to finish this this chapter today. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I had a really good time with today's stream. We had a huge win streak with Talion and Waylay Control. It performed way better than I thought it was going to. And then we got some puzzling done. Got some levels solved and some sets figured out in Understand. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Tomorrow is going to be my last stream for a week until Thursday the 18th. And yeah, we'll do both Gwent and Understand tomorrow. Hope to see you guys there. We got an epic shoot match also. Yes, we can't forget about the epic shoot match. Oh my god. That was crazy. Yeah. I should highlight that one. All right. Good night, chat. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I will host, let's see who we can host. How about I host Elkiora today? We robbed Gandalf. We totally did. Completely. Good night. See you, chat.